On Monday night, it was announced that Jonathan Majors was dropped by management and his PR firm. According to Deadline, Majors being dropped was due to issues surrounding the actor's personal behavior. Now, if you remember, Majors was arrested back on March 25th and was charged with harassment and assault over an alleged domestic dispute with a 30-year-old woman. After the incident, the victim was hospitalized with minor injuries to her head and neck, according to Variety. Despite Majors being dropped by his agencies, there have been no official plans to drop him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Majors is currently expected to appear in court on May 8th. Today we have our company hype analysts Danielle Miller-Capone and Pierre calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. Pierre, I'm coming to you. There's been a couple updates in between. We talked about this early on, but now we're seeing Jonathan Majors being dropped from his PR firm as well as his management. What's your reaction to it? And, what do you think this says about the case?
A couple of things. We're in a very woke time right now, so everyone has to be careful. I mean, they're dropping people left and right, but especially if you big and black, you're a big black man in Hollywood, and you physically assaulted somebody. Come on, big black men already have the stigma of being, uncontrollable. That's what the white man fears, of that image, and white women fear. That's why if you big and black, you better smile and dance and take off your shirt and do your pecs. Like my man Terry Crews and the other boys, they got to play the game and smile and, be on Dancing with the Stars and all that other shit. Show that you're a calm, big black man. But when you're a dark-skinned black man and you put them hands on somebody any other kind of way, people are dropping you. Kudos to Marvel for not dropping him on that. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what really happened. I don't know. I'm not privy to what happened exactly. Sure, you should put your hands on a woman, but we don't know. But especially if you're big and black, watch out how that aggressiveness is. Bring it down. That's all I'm saying. That's what Hollywood gonna say. Bring it down.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point. Right now, we don't have much information. Text messages were dropped, but they're saying, his legal team is saying there is footage to show that he is innocent in this case. But let me come over to you, Capone. Same thing. What's your reaction to this, and what do you think this says about the case?
Grand opening, grand closing. It's the it's the same scenario over and over again. They want to control us. And unfortunately, they have this Hollywood power that we keep giving them to actually, control. So what? They dropped him. I'm quite sure, as good as an actor as he is, somebody else will pick him up. Unless, he gets blackballed, and they're good with that. They don't really threaten you. They make phone calls and they write letters to each other, texts. And that's how you become blackballed on the circuit. But if all goes well, and I think that it's wrong that he's not even convicted of the situation, that already they're starting. That's, that's the black thing, where you're guilty until proven innocent, backwards.
Right, and let me ask this, Capone, because people in the comments, and I like to make things very clear here. You're speaking from information that we currently have, because there hasn't been anything that confirms that he is, he did in fact do that. If the video footage does come out and it shows that he actually did do this, what would be your thoughts on him being dropped and kind of pushed, off to the side by these agencies?
I hate to say it, but nobody's perfect. Everybody has anger. Everybody has issues. And, it's just amazing how we get spotlighted as black people a little more harsh than things that go on with white people. There's a lot of white people that got domestic violence and all of that also. And you don't hear them getting dropped. Most of them. I'm not going to say all. Most of them not getting dropped from their situation. It's a money situation. And to me, I feel in this situation, just from somebody in the back looking in, they're trying to control him. And at some point, I think he let loose that y'all ain't gonna control me.
No, I appreciate that. Danielle, let me bring you in. There hasn't been a lot of updates on this case, but recently we did see Jonathan Majors being dropped from his PR and management agency. What's your reaction to it? And also, what do you think this says, about the case on the information that we do have?
My reaction is, why is it so quiet? Like you said, we haven't heard anything much about it from the initial report, and then the lawyer dropped the text messages, and then that was it. So it's like, why is everything so quiet? And it makes me, first of all, let me first say this. I don't think nobody on this panel condones domestic violence. Let's first start there. There are a few things in Hollywood that will get you dropped really quickly, and domestic violence is one of them. But what I'm very curious of is the fact that he hasn't been convicted. We haven't heard much about it. And it's sort of like we're condemning him before we know all of the facts. I mean, the public. Now, what's going on behind closed doors is a big question mark for me, honestly. And it's like, I remember seeing the text messages and they were a bit blurry. The text messages doesn't make it clear as if he was innocent or not, honestly. So the only thing that I can say is in terms of Jonathan, he started off on a high, like Pierre said, started off this year great with a pre-press run, and then that came to a screeching halt. And I just wish that if he is guilty of the act, that he does get some help, and us in the Black community gives him that grace to get help and to fix himself up.
Yeah, no, you bring up 2 points that I want to touch on, but first I want to go to text messages, and Pierre, I'm going to come back to you just in case you want to comment on anything that was said. But let me read these text messages first. So here's the text message that were released. So from the young lady, it says, there's no note, just you knowing what happened. Jonathan Majors would respond and say, ask, did you leave the keys, and goodbye, and that part was blanked out. And this is the rest of the text message from the young lady. She says, please let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me that you won't be charged. They said they had to arrest you as a protocol when they saw the injuries on me and they knew we had a fight. I'm so angry that they did, and I'm so sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just got out of the hospital. Just call me when you're out. I love you. She would go on to say they just called me again to check on me, and I reiterated how this was not an attack and they do not have my blessing on any charges being placed. I read the paper they gave me about strangulation, and I said point blank this did not occur and should be removed immediately. The judge is definitely going to be told this. She ensured this to me. I know you have the best team and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know that I'm doing all that I can. And she would go on just to pretty much say how she cares and how she's sorry. Pierre, I want to come to you. As Danielle mentioned, for a lot of people, this didn't clear anything up and probably made it a little bit worse, but I want to get your reaction. Do you think releasing these text messages was the right move for Jonathan Majors? And it was released by his team. Let me make sure I know. It was released by his team, not by Jonathan Majors himself. Pierre, I'll let you finish thinking.
I couldn't have wrote a better script than that, okay? That sounds about as fake of some shit to write down as ever. It's too much information. When you're going through there, you don't talk like that. You don't be like, you whip my ass, but I hope you don't get in trouble. My scars are hurting me, but I hope the police don't do nothing. You're a great actor and shit. Come on. That sounds like either somebody regretted the bullshit they did and try to clean it up in a dubious way. First of all, if she felt so much like that, why are the cops showing up? They showed up for a reason, because it didn't go down like that exactly. So I believe she's trying to, backpedal and make like you hit me, but not really, and it sounds too convoluted and too made up to me. So that right there missed me with that. How about if it was all that bad, you shouldn't have called shit. Okay, if it was all that good, you should have called. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't all that bad, it was bad, and you called when you felt a certain way, and now you're trying to backtrack. That's all I can see on that. It just doesn't make sense.
And we did see that she recanted her statement, right? So Pierre, do you think, even revealing the text message, do you think that was the right strategy for, that his team did take?
Both of them sound like some bullshit, okay? On both ends, okay? They realize this is about to get affected, okay? The money is about to get affected. So how can we backtrack all this and clean this all up? Everybody put stuff out. It didn't. Hey, look, judge me. They all guilty. They all guilty.
Not with the, okay, you got the hat, you got the gavel. Danielle, let me bring you in on this because you lightly touched on this, so I want to come back to you, and I saw you shaking your head as well. I'd love to get your thoughts. After the text messages were released, do you think this was the best strategy from his team, on this case?
Hell no. Hell no. I mean, the text messages, her talking literally sounds like a battered woman that is trying to, like Pierre said, cover it up, because it's now like, oh damn, I'm gonna mess up a vibe. So that it sounds so forced, basically. And again, I don't know if it's authentic or not. I don't know if he did it or not, but the text messages did not help in his case at all. They just should have kept those to themselves. So yeah, that it did not help him at all. It did not. It did not.
Yeah, and Capone, I want you to comment on that as well. And let me ask you this, Capone, because so many times in this situation, I think Danielle hit on this just a little bit, right? We don't hear anything from, whether it's Jonathan Majors or anybody on the team. Everything just kind of goes quiet. Do you think that helps or hurts cases like this when we don't hear anything and it's just, this long silence, and it can make people feel like, Jonathan Majors, maybe you are guilty, or there's, I don't have as much confidence in you. Do you think that silence helps or hurts him in this case?
As a person who's been locked up, as a person who's been wrongly accused of something, a lot of times you're told, especially through the system, just keep quiet, let us handle it. If I could go on a stand and tell the truth to a judge, my lawyer doesn't really know the truth. He going by what he think I should say that is going to help me. And not all the time that is helpful. And I just don't understand throughout the years why we can't speak for ourselves. Why is it that somebody has to talk for us? Now, whether this is a whole crock of shit or it's legitimate, it's the point of not being able to express yourself clearly. He should have did a press conference. I didn't touch this woman. She reached for my phone. The truth we could tell through a person speaking, not through the industry. And that's what we seem to be dealing with all the time. That's why so many Black men are locked up till this day, because the lawyer who got his pay, whether you get locked up or not, is talking for you. And so when you got people always talking for you, these are the things that come about. And I'm a cold person that definitely dealt with that in my own case.
Yeah, I appreciate that insight. Pierre, I know you want to comment. Go ahead, Pierre.
In all due respect, I feel how what Capone's saying, but sometimes many of us don't know what we're saying. We don't know how to speak well in public. Let's be honest. We're not good orators. We may be comedians, actors, whatever. And you'd hate to say something, put your foot in your own mouth. Out of your own mouth, you said the wrong thing, and now you got to reap the repercussions of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have lawyers and people to speak for you, because sometimes you may say the wrong thing because you're emotional about the damn thing, and now everybody's like, you said it though. It came out of your mouth. Then what's your recourse then? That's why they have people speak for them. Everyone can't speak as good as Capone and know what they're saying. Sometimes people speak up, and that's why they say the wrong thing, get their ass toe up.
But one thing for sure, and one thing for certain, the truth, when it comes out, you can tell if it's the truth. A lie, you always got skepticalism about. But the truth, you can tell when a person is telling the truth, whether he's saying the wrong thing or saying it the wrong way. You can tell by emotions what's true. Even actors can't act out the truth.
Now, something that you mentioned earlier, Capone, is, the difference of what we see from Black actors and white actors, and people online are saying the same thing. One user talks about actor Ezra Miller, and here's what he had to say. He said, Jonathan Majors seeing his career cooked from Marvel, while Ezra Miller, who committed way more crimes than him, still gets to play Flash and still be in Warner Brothers. So I want to take a look at the video of actor Ezra Miller and come back and get you all's reaction. So let's take a look at that.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight?
Now, I want to make sure I clarify the storyline. So according to the victim's friend, it seemed as if the victim was talking mess outside of the bar, where we saw Miller, he would get upset and then he would come outside, and that's the video that you see of him strangling the young lady. Something else I do want to make sure that we make note of, Miller has gotten in trouble. We have seen him go to court. He has been charged. Some of them were dropped to like a misdemeanor. We also saw where he was able to pay like a fine. But in regards to the tweet where it specifies about him still being able to play Flash, I want to read a Variety comment that they mentioned. So it says, Variety's now reporting that Warner Brothers executives are open to the idea of keeping Miller as the Flash. I called it. They don't care one bit about what he did as long as the upcoming summer release makes money, and it will. It would go on to say, given that Miller has stayed out of trouble since beginning mental health treatment in the summer, some executives are amenable to continue with the actor as the world-saving speedster after the Flash bows on June 16th. So, you know, it seems that there's still a relationship with Warner Brothers. I'll come to you, Capone. I'd love to get your reaction on this because a lot of people are commenting on it. What are your thoughts after seeing that video?
And this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of Comedy Hype. I am like really tired of us trying to think that there is going to be some equality. There's always going to be a difference in the way they treat Black people and the way that they treat white people. Miller could have probably shot somebody and he would still get the role of what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, we keep bringing up this subject of Black and white, and we keep thinking, I mean, we always comparing. There's no comparing. They get treated better than us. White supremacy makes sure that they take care of white supremacy. Now, I'm gonna say this, and this threw me off. Last night I watched a movie called The Woman King with Viola Davis. And it probably didn't get the credit that it should have gotten, where the Africans, you know, stopped the trade of slavery by women coming to take on white people. The movie is a great movie, but it didn't get the accolades that it should have gotten because they're not willing to watch white men getting slayed by Black people. Let's just be honest about that. But what I got from it is, if we learn how to come together as people, we will be a lot stronger and wouldn't have to worry about this white supremacy as much as we should. Our biggest problem is us coming together in everything. So even though Jonathan might be going through what he's going through, let a Black agency pick him up. Let's start creating and stop worrying about us being treated fair, because it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's my bottom line.
Pierre, let me come to you. Same thing. I love to get your reaction. A lot of people are comparing a lot of different people, but actor Ezra Miller was one of the ones that they've compared. So after seeing the footage and hearing the information, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't even know what. Okay. First of all, Jonathan Majors is in the movies. He's still going to do the movies. Like the white boy, he's still going to do the movies. So that's what comparison is that? You know, they let the white guy be in the movies. Well, they're letting Jonathan Majors. They're not dropping him. Marvel's not dropping Jonathan Majors. So that comparison is equal, right? Would you say that? They let the white guy still be in the movie. The last couple of movies he finished off, whatever. They're going to let the brother finish off the movies. So there's no comparison. That's equal to me, however you want to look at it. So I'm trying to find out, what's the problem? Are we saying that the white guy, he got in trouble? I mean, he didn't get in trouble, you know, like, what are we looking for? The severity of the trouble? We haven't even found out what Jonathan Majors' severity of trouble is, except he got dropped by an agency. Is that he ain't got no jail time yet? Like, what's the severity of what we're talking about? We're comparing. We just can't put two people together and say, this wrong, because they're not gonna throw Bobby Brown. He's been accused of, he's a sexual assault, domestic violence, marijuana charge, violating his parole, drunk driving a couple times. I mean, Bobby Brown, we still fuck with Bobby Brown, and he got a whole slang of shit he done did. And we still mess with him. He's still on tour with New Edition. He can still do concerts by himself. He ain't been dropped nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, what is the problem? What are we talking about here? Let this thing play out first, and then we can say, hey, this is wrong compared to this. Being dropped by a publicist is the major thing. There's a country western guy named Jason Alden, ALDEN. His wife tweeted something about transphobic stuff. His wife tweeted it, and he laughed at it and said, yeah, I feel you. And his PR dropped him. He didn't even tweet the damn thing. He's a white boy, a country western star. So I don't know what we're saying here, to be honest with you. I don't know what. Yeah, put it in the comments, man. I don't know. I mean, you know, like I told you, he's big and black. He got to watch himself. Hollywood don't play that game. If you're big and black, they're already scared of you, and you got to walk, you know, carefully. Like Capone said, we got to start our own agencies. If we're gonna get our own agency to start it and do the publicity, let's do that then. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that either. I would definitely love to see him picked up by a black PR. You know, just to switch it up a little bit. He's a big star, and we know that. And I think too, a lot of people there's a lot of emotion here as well, right? Because it seems that a lot of people are already putting the guilt on him. And to specify, I think that tweet, in the same tweet, they said they couldn't confirm, but it was they've heard from sources that he would be getting dropped from Marvel. So I think it's just a speculation of if he is dropped, you know, comparing them to. I think that's where the comparison came.
Let's wait till he drops and they come back and talk about it. We say, yeah, that's BS. I'm down for that one, but we don't know what's about to happen. So if it doesn't happen, then it ain't the same. You know.
So Danielle, let me bring you in on this as well. I love to get your reaction. You know, a lot of people are comparing. Twitter's going crazy right now with it, but I'd love to get your thoughts and reactions on it after seeing and hearing the information on Ezra Miller.
First of all, Miller is a different Miller. He has a long list of wives going on. He different. But what I'm trying to do here is, and y'all hear me trying to tiptoe around this topic, is because I don't want to condemn a man without knowing all of the facts. And just as Owen mentioned, when in terms of white supremacy, I'm a firm believer that we have to protect our own. We have to protect each other, especially our Black men. Let's say he is guilty, but let's also look at it from the fact that every time everybody's actions are fueled by something. Maybe this man needs help. Maybe he needs help and we don't even know. We're just looking at him as this big star that's in Creed, that's with Michael B. Jordan. I don't even think he has an active social media account from an interview that I watched with him. So let's say he needs help if he's guilty. Let's say if he isn't guilty. But at the end of the day, I'm really trying to be careful how I frame this because we have to protect our own. We have to. Because one thing that I do see is, even though Ezra has that long list of criminal accusations, I don't know if he's ever been to jail for any one of those things. And while I was like doing the comparison in my head, it threw me back to what's now happening in terms of the young man, Ralph, that got shot, and the person that shot him, that he didn't even spend 24 hours in holding. He spent less than 2 hours. So if that was a Black man, you bet right you would have spent 24 hours in there. They probably wouldn't have let you out. But I firmly believe because of the community rallied together, that would force the police hand to say, okay, we have to take this man into custody. So it goes again to the whole, but we have to protect our own because the system isn't going to protect us. And yeah, Marvel might be keeping him on, or Warner Brothers might be keeping him on, but let's be honest. As a Black person, when a stigma is attached to you, that sticks. And that sticks through the years. Bobby Brown, like you mentioned, Pierre, he cleaned up his act years ago, but we still remember him as cokehead Bobby Brown. We still remember him as bad boy Bobby Brown. I mean, let's be honest. So it's very important that we protect our own and make sure that our own gets the help that they need and the support that they need. We can't just throw away people when they've made a mistake. Now, if it's a reoccurring mistake, again, we do not support domestic violence. If it's a reoccurring mistake, then bro, we can't. I mean, you gotta wipe your hands off a certain thing. But let's just try our best to be our brother's keeper.
No, I love that. I think that's definitely a rule of thumb that our community should definitely keep, some type of code that, you know, you just stick to it, and that's across the board. But Pierre, let me come to you because I think Danielle mentioned a great point about the support that's needed. You know, we've seen Jonathan Majors, and granted, he gradually, it wasn't just an overnight success, but we've seen him shoot to the top. He was at the top of the top when all this was going on. Is there some type of support system? Like, is there a union or I don't know what it would be called, but is there something behind the scenes that maybe, you know, the average Joe doesn't know about that provides some type of support, whether that's mentally, emotionally, for these rising actors?
No, not really. It's the people you surround yourself with. He might not be surround himself around some real Black folks. You know, let's be honest. We didn't care two shits about him too much when we found out he had a white girlfriend. It was what it is. It's like, hey, when the law came after his ass, we're like, hold up, he a Black man. Let's be, hey, hold up, don't do Black man like that. But when he's whooping that white woman ass, they're like, hey, she white, it happened. They ain't go there. I'm paraphrasing, I'm being a little, facetious, but he doesn't he maybe not surrounded himself around enough black people who are strong enough who see the bigger picture of black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's not a brother and all that kind of stuff, but he might not be around strong enough black people who say, hey, it's bigger than you right now, brother. Your movements are bigger than just you. It's a big thing. So watch how you move. You know what I'm saying? Because you are a pillar, you are someone's a shining light moving up. White folks got their eyes on you. And like I said, someone looking like him hit a woman, especially a white woman, woo-wee, like Danielle said, it's a stigma that's going to be on him. From now on, unfortunately, with some white folks are going to be thinking of him, that's that big black dude that be beating up women and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is far from the truth,
Yeah, you even keep on saying big black dude, like literally big black dude.
But no, hold on. He's a big guy. He's black and he's a male. Okay, if he was skinny and weighed 100 pounds, it wouldn't be the same effect. Trust me. That's what I'm making a point about. What black people, he is the epitome of what white people are afraid of. A big black man, not a skinny small white man. Ain't nobody scared of Ralph Tresvant. That's my dude and all that. But you know what I'm saying? They don't want to fuck with something look like that. That's just the pity. When they make movies, they make them look like him when they're the criminal and the bad person, big and black, and people get fearful. That's why I keep saying it. In America, that's how we do it. That's how they kind of make movies.
Capone, let me propose that same question, and I guess there's an answer to it. But do you think there should be some type of support system for these rising actors and stars that we see, just going to the top and being in that type of environment?
Shit, Capone is a big black man. Capone is big black.
You're right, and I'm glad you said that because that is the truth.
I know.
The truth of the matter is that it's very rare that you're going to find somebody that keeps it 100 as much as you keep it with yourself. So no matter who you surround yourself with, you getting these major roles, you got other black actors that's not getting a major role, is going to create some jealousy. And when you get in trouble like this, the first thing you're going to hear, because I heard it myself, man, you got to learn to play the game. These white people, they run this and do that. And if you really want to be successful, because you ain't reached where you need to be reached at because you don't know how to play the game. I don't care what the game is. I got to be real with myself. And I'm not going to put myself out there to do some of the shit that these guys do to make it in Hollywood. It ain't no secret. We already know what it is. It's the drugs, it's the sex with other men, all of that. You're not going to get Capone to do that. So if that is what I have to do in order to become successful, as Hollywood sees me successful, I will never be successful. And I'm going to say never, because I will never put myself in any type of predicament to play a game that they want me to play in order for me to reach the heights that they think they could take me to. So I'll do my little shows. I'll make my little money. I'm drug-free. I never drink. And I'll stay focused on pleasing the people that support me. I don't need to be no major star. I do well what I'm doing.
Absolutely, and we definitely appreciate you having here. You're a major star to us, so thank you for being a part of this. No, but I do appreciate this conversation, and I think, Danielle, I think you bring up a great point of what we've seen, with Ralph. So I do want to make sure I end. I know, we're talking about Jonathan Majors in this case, but I do think what we saw with Ralph, it's not surprising, but it is a very unfortunate and a cringing thing to be able to watch. So we send our, recovering and love to that family and to Ralph. I think according to the latest reports, he is at home. He has been released from the hospital and is at home recovering. I do think the man was arrested, but as you said, he wasn't held for too long. So, I think hopefully we see this case pan out to be better than what we know it typically is. So thank you for bringing that up, Danielle. I really do appreciate that. I do think that's an important topic to touch on. But as always, I appreciate you all for chiming in on this topic. Before we head out, I'd like to know what you have going on. Danielle, I'm starting with you because you gave us a different view this week, and we appreciate it. With all the crazy things going on, you gave us something nice to look at. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Yeah, and then next week, I promise to show you guys the water. So
yes,
just to brighten it up, because there's a lot going on in the world in general. And of course, my prayers are with all of you guys over in the US. What I have going on is new episodes of Sis that is coming this summer. You can check it out. We start dropping them in July. You can go to my YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe. It's Danielle, Denielle. And then on Instagram, you can follow me at DA Miller, DEEA Miller. On Twitter as well. I don't tweet much, but I'll be there. I lurk and I retweet everything from Comedy Hype, and make sure you stay up to date with Comedy Hype. I am here every Tuesday for your viewing pleasure.
Absolutely. We appreciate having you on. Mr. Pierre, I'm coming to you with the hat. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Negroes, I don't want y'all to follow me this week. Shit, damn that. Okay. So follow me next week, nigga. But right now, I'll be at Party HQ in Bowie. You can follow me there this Friday. Me and my man Mike Brooks, very funny comedian, funny show. This Friday, if you're in the Bowie area, Bowie, Maryland area, Party HQ, 7:00 show. Looking forward to that. The week after, I got my man Jazzy Faye on Pierre's Panic Room this week. Drops a lot of knowledge about the industry and some other stuff. Asking questions only like I can ask. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about all kind of stuff. So we're doing that. And at the end of the month, I think on the 29th, I'm in Florida. I'm at the Lauder Theater, I guess in near Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Lauder Theater on the 29th. Come through there, man. But again, thank y'all again for always supporting it. Thank you, Danielle, thank you, Capone, and Symphony for always being here, giving me the inspiration to talk what I talk. And I'm going to keep on talking it. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason.
I know that's right.
The thoughts of Pierre, we love it. Last and certainly not least, Mr. Capone, you tried to downplay yourself earlier, but I ain't letting you have it. Talking about your little show. Didn't you just tell us you sold out a theater?
Oh yeah, Memphis. Memphis was amazing.
Exactly. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Got a lot of things going on. My new special is out, and it's actually on this format, which I am actually one of the speakers for now, which is sharezo.com. That's SHAREZO.com. Go there, hit the Capone link, and go check out the new special this weekend. And I'm a little pissed off at this weekend, Sim, because I'm gonna be home in New York City at a Black comedy club called Harlem's Comedy in Harlem, and all shows are sold out except the Friday late show. Now I should be selling out like crazy at home, but for some reason it's not sold out. So I'm putting it out there that I will get in these streets and sell these tickets myself to make sure this show is sold out. I will be there 2 shows Friday and 2 shows Saturday. Comedy in Harlem. Hit me up in my DM and let me know you need tickets, and we'll make it happen there. That's how I'm getting down with it now, because I refuse to be home and not sell out when I sell out everywhere else. And if you want to follow me and don't have my Instagram, I'm going to tell you, Comedian Capone. And if you can't spell comedian, this is the first time that I'm going to tell you, look it up and spell it and follow me, Comedian Capone. I will be in Harlem this weekend. I promise.
Well, I'm speaking that it's definitely going to sell out. Congratulations to all of you on all the beautiful things that you have going on. I appreciate you all for chiming in on this topic, but you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Jonathan Majors being dropped by his team? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in those comments.
In the comments.
I was sold out this weekend too. I had 2 white girls.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, I sold out and I Uncle Tom'd it.
Oh Lord.
Big fan of the Comedy Hype News Show? Well, now you can join us live in studio for lunch at Comedy Hype. Click the link down below in our description or go to our Instagram page and click the link in our bio for your chance to RSVP. I hope to see you here for Comedy Hype News. I'm Symphony Thompson.